Andrea, we are so pleased to have you join us for the MCLA Gallery 51 portfolio reviews. I think there's a lot of information that the artists who are participating would love to hear directly from you. So I just have 3 questions for you, and I would love if you just share your thoughts. The first one is, given what we're doing, what do you see as the role of portfolio reviews or studio visits for galleries?
Well, we have many reasons why we would participate in a studio visit for the gallery. In relation to our stable of artists, we visit mostly to provide feedback during all stages of their creation of the work. And when they have a new body of work, it's just to engage in discourse and sort of figure out where it fits and when they're ready for a new show. Mm-hmm. So when we're preparing for a new exhibition, we will host a studio visit maybe 2 months before we open and actually choose the work that's going to be in the show. And we'll figure out how much space we have and really narrow it down to a body of work, and that will be our show. And we'll work from there. But they could have been working on that work for 2 years before we finally narrowed it down. And like we're doing today, we sometimes provide feedback to artists that we don't represent, which is just sort of our service to the community. And we think that's really important. Sometimes they're just friends and people we respect. Right. And we also use studio visits as a tool when we have an exhibition or we're between exhibitions and we can invite a client to a private studio visit, which they really enjoy the behind the scenes of that and meeting the person. For me, if I'm collecting a piece of art, I want to meet the person and have a connection with the person. And I think that's really important. And if we're thinking about showing a new artist, we make a connection, we like the work, we see the work, and the final step is to meet them and see it in person, which tells us a lot about who they are as a person, but also what the work looks like in real life. So I think those are all valid reasons to do a studio visit and all very important to us.
Right. And when you're seeking out or exploring the possibility of representing different artists, what do you find that you're looking for most in terms of what is most critical? What are kind of the top that you look for?
Well, we've both, the director and myself, have experienced a lot of work over many, many years. And we're always thinking about why something isn't or is appealing to us. And we're always looking. We're looking online, we're looking in person, we're going to shows, student shows, auctions, all the things. And it usually starts when the director, Meg White, and I decide that we love something. That's the most important thing. We both love it. And once that happens, we can go and review it more seriously. And Meg has been doing this for twice as long as I have, or over twice as long as I have. And I think every year I get more and more confident in my taste. So that's becoming easier and easier for me. And I personally look for work that asks more questions than it answers or throws out at you, and it provokes something emotional in me so that I respond to it in that way. That's super important when I'm looking for work that I love. And I think the craft has to be very fine and the technique of the work has to be undeniable. And I think the biggest thing we do when we're looking for artist work to represent is find someone who is friendly, nice, and easy to work with, because a relationship with NAGA and an artist is like a marriage. Sometimes it's longer than a marriage. It's 20 years, 30 years. And even if it's new, we want to make sure that we love the person. You know, we grow to be family. So I think that besides what the art looks like, and the composition and style, and we have to love the person.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So all of these people, and we had a lot of people that wanted to talk with you. What sort of advice do you think you would provide somebody that is looking for representation? What should they be doing?
Well, for someone who's watched people, you know, I was an art student, and I have friends that I grew up with that are still making art. I think the people that become successful eventually do not stop making art. They're prolific. They keep making work, and they don't find it precious. They won't dwell on like a couple pieces and be scared to show them and scared to sell them. They seek peer responses for the work. They always meet up. They stay in contact with peers. They network. I think those are the people that become most successful. Mm-hmm. And they show their work wherever they possibly can. You know, a coffee shop, a school auction, a group show, anywhere that you can get in front of. You don't know who's going to see your work. You know, it could be the smallest connection that turns into a relationship with a gallery. And going to exhibitions of a gallery you're interested in showing at, and meeting the gallerists and meeting the curators with no motives, just being friendly and studying and researching the gallery, that's super important. If you're not, you have to know that you're a good fit for that gallery, truly and realistically, before you even approach them. I think that's super important. And if a gallery doesn't accept submissions, I would say follow those rules and don't submit your work. If a gallery does accept submissions, which Gallery NAGA does, I would say make sure you follow the rules precisely that we have right on our website. Don't go off and do something in a different way. We found what works for us, how we can review work easily, and we've picked up a few artists just from cold emails, and you know, they're amazing.
Right.
So I think the worst way to approach it is, and it happens all the time, sadly, is coming into a gallery without an appointment, with your work in tow, and putting someone on the spot. That is, it's tough, you know. There's so many artists out there, and it's such a hard job, and we want to help all of you, and, you know, work with as many people as we can. But I would just say approach it in a respectful, nice, gentle way, and just keep networking.
Right, right. All good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that works for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Andrea Dabrila of NAGA Gallery is so wonderful to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.